Good evening, and welcome to Rock Solid Radio. I'm Linda Hutchinson, the Executive Director of Rock Solid Families.
And I'm Merrill Hutchinson, President of Rock Solid Families. And we are excited to have you join us for the next 30 minutes as we talk about relationships. A huge shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to Maxwell Construction, Greendale Cinemas, Mansfield Insurance Agency, and Erie Insurance. We are so thankful for these businesses who have made this show possible. So whether you are listening live or online, Rock Solid Radio, helping to strengthen our community one family at a time on your hometown radio, Eagle Country 99.3. Good evening, Eagle Country. Welcome to Rock Solid Radio. This is Merrill and Linda Hutchinson from Rock Solid Families, and tonight we have two special guests in the studio.
They're so special.
Yeah, they're so special we even call them son and daughter-in-law. We'd like to welcome Zach and Katie. Zach is our second oldest son, and he happens to be in town. Zach, you say hello, right? And,
yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we have Katie, his wife, here as well, and so
Who is a repeat guest.
Yes, that's right.
Been here before.
This is old hat
Now
for
you're
her.
going to start to expect pay for this stuff.
I should.
Yeah, well, good luck with that part. But they happen to be in town visiting, and so we thought it would be really fun. We already had our topic picked out for today, but we thought it would be fun to actually get their take since they were our kids going through this process. So, you know,
Katie wasn't. She didn't have to deal with us till later on.
Yeah. We might want to. We might have to edit this show heavily because if they start talking bad about us as
no trash
parents,
talking.
we might have to edit some of that out.
Well, what's the
But-
topic, honey?
So the topic, you know, this is funny. So here it is, July 7th, and we've already heard like a bazillion times in our house. We're bored. What is there for us to do? And so all of a sudden we have this whole idea that kids couldn't wait for summer, and now they're bored to death.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about boredom. It's summertime.
So
right?
if you're out there in Eagle Country and you are a parent and you have children home this summer, then you can definitely relate to this. I have a feeling this will draw a lot of attention from families and homes. But, you know, what do you do? And we're here to say tonight that boredom isn't bad, that there's actually some blessing and some positive things that come from a little boredom.
Yeah. And that seems to be harder to come by because of so many different technologies and stuff that are out today.
Or parents wanting to save their kids.
Yeah. I'm going to see how sharp you all are. I expanded my knowledge base today. Do you know what ennui means?
What the heck?
Ennui?
Ennui? How do you
never
spell
heard
it?
that.
You spell it as ENNUI.
Never heard of it.
That's not a word.
Is it French?
It is a word. It is a word. I
language
looked
is
it
it?
up, okay? I think it sounds French to me.
Oh my
but
goodness.
ennui means, is a kind of another word for boredom. And it means listlessness or dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement.
And say it again.
So it's ennui.
Ennui.
Ennui. So are your kids suffering from ennui? Hey, just a little tidbit. Now you're all just a little bit
Hey,
brighter.
before
word
we
of the
go any
day.
further, we definitely got to thank our sponsors, hon.
Yes.
We would not be here without Maxwell Construction, Greendale Cinemas, Mansfield Insurance Agency, and Erie Insurance. Without them, this show is not possible. So thank you. And if you are listening out there in Eagle Country, take a moment to thank our sponsors, to let them know that you are listening, that you appreciate this positive programming, that we hopefully reach into our homes and families and help them.
You know, and we also, as we thank our sponsors, we continue to thank and appreciate the support that we get, the contributions. Being a nonprofit, a big way that we keep our doors open is to have people believe in the mission that we are undertaking here, and that they financially and prayerfully consider helping us. And so we need that to keep our doors open.
And we have been very blessed with a lot of partners, individuals and companies who have said, we believe in what you're doing and we want to support that financially and through prayer support. So we appreciate you. So we pray for our sponsors. We pray for our donors. We pray for the families that we work with. If we could be praying for you, let us know at rocksolidfamilies.org. We would love to just come alongside you and help any way we can.
Yeah. So we have a lot of different things going on, so let's hit on that. We have our regular finishing classes, our exercise classes that are going on. Those are 6 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning, and that is Linda's group. And
the early birds.
The early birds, but I'll tell you, they get right after it. They're a lot of fun. And then I teach a Tuesday, Thursday evening at 6 p.m., and then I do a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And so that is at 7484 Christina Drive out in St. Leon, Indiana. So come on out and join us for one of those. Even if you just want to come out and see us and maybe learn a little bit about fitness or do some personal training, get in touch with us, and I can help you with that to see what's the right approach to help you out.
And we're really excited, Hun, that you're going to be launching another Strong Dad series beginning August 10th. It's an 8-week series at our office. It's a combination of fitness and Bible study for men, and I have loved seeing these men just come early. It's early. Very early.
It's not that bad.
Saturday morning.
7:30.
Saturday morning.
It's really good. So these guys get in there, and we get an opportunity to do something to break a sweat. And do not be intimidated by the exercise part. I make it so that everything is extremely adaptable, whether it's your first time working out ever or you are a regular jock. So come join us, and we can take care of the exercise part. And then we do 45 minutes of study. And the study is all husband-dad related.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of dads, you and Kyle Crawford, a young dad, are working on a Strong Dad podcast that's going to be launching here at the beginning of August. Tell them a little bit about that.
So our Strong Dad, so you and I do Rock Solid Radio, and this is going to be kind of a slightly different flavor in that our target audience is going to be dads and husbands. And so Kyle is a fireman paramedic. And so he has been
very young dad.
He's bringing up this young stuff. He reminds me of it all the time. I think he calls me old man and everything else. But I really enjoy his flavor to what we're doing because he sees firsthand out in the streets. I'm literally in the streets of kids gone bad, families gone bad, and mostly he came to me saying we have got to do something for dads. And so
it's an epidemic.
He helped get us going on this podcast. So anyway, that'll start the first week of August.
Yeah. We also do marriage and family coaching. We have seen over 100 families already since our doors opened in the fall, and we come alongside individuals, couples, and families. And so if we can help you and your family, as we talk about tonight, we're going to be joking a lot about this topic of boredom in our homes, but for a lot of parents, this is a very real issue where the kids are out of control or they're overwhelmed. The parents are overwhelmed. So if we can help you, please call us at 812-576-ROCK, 812-576-ROCK, or you can contact us through rocksolidfamilies.org.
Yeah.
So, Hun, why this topic of boredom? If you're just joining us on Eagle Country, we're talking about kids being home this summer and the topic of boredom.
Yeah, well, this topic is, on the surface, it's boredom. And we bring it up because this is a time of year where kids are starting to kind of lose their rudder of direction of what they're going to do with their day. And we see this as a bigger deal now probably than ever just because of the type of lifestyles that we live. We are so used to living a very overbooked schedule, whether it's with school or sporting events or church or whatever it is. We're also very much into entertainment. And that could be behind a screen of some sort, a phone screen, an iPad.
Yeah, we carry it with us in our pocket.
Yeah, and so boredom, it comes to find out that boredom is actually, it's kind of like when you're thirsty. Thirsty is important, right? When your body feels thirst, it tells you should do what?
Drink.
You should drink, right? You should satisfy it.
Water.
Water, not other things. And so thirst is very much a necessary component to your biology. Boredom is also, and boredom, that feeling, is something that happens that then helps stimulate the whole idea of I need to get creative and satisfy this. And what's happening is we are taking the creativity out of it by throwing up instant gratification things such as the video game or my phone or whatever. And listen, we're just as guilty, right? As soon as I have like 30 seconds of downtime, I'm reaching in my pocket and pulling out my phone. as if like
Even
someone
people going to the restroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take
So-
it into there.
And so at what cost is this? And so what habit is this creating is kind of a little bit of our question. So a very interesting article written by Clive Thompson in Wired magazine in 2017. He's a writer. And he was talking in this article about the idea that he was having problems getting creative with his writing. And he was like, what? I'm hitting stump after stump on this. And it was because he never let his mind go idle. He was constantly occupied with stuff on his phone, with his schedule. And he finally just started to connect the dots. And actually, in this article, he cites several bits of research that really cite what we're talking about here. That a bored mind actually, it's kind of like how we talked about rest the other day.
Yeah.
That we actually rest so that we can work. We
Right.
don't work so that we can rest.
Right.
We rest so that we can be prepared to work.
Right.
And so boredom also allows us to be creative. And so a touch of that boredom is actually very healthy.
Yeah, yeah. If you did not have a chance to listen to that show, I really encourage you to go back. It was called The Importance of Rest, and we really talked about how important that is to have that built into your day and your week and your year. So we talked a lot about that.
Yeah. I had to put this scripture in because Zach is here with us, and I pulled some Zechariah scripture. And so Zechariah 8:5 says, "And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets."
That was you guys.
And, when was the last time you drove through a neighborhood and saw kids playing in the streets? You just don't
Less
see
and
it.
less.
Yeah, you just don't see it in a lot of neighborhoods anymore. And so, anyway, we are going to talk a little bit today to Zach and Katie.
Yeah, if you just are joining us on Eagle Country, if you just tuned in, we have brought in our second oldest son and his wife, Katie. They're in town this week, and we thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of pick their brain a little bit
Yes.
about your experience growing up and how your parents handled boredom when you were younger.
Yeah, I mean, my
Remember,
parents,
we are your parents, Zach. We're right here.
It's true.
You're
Watch
gonna
what
want
you
the
say.
comments.
Katie can say whatever she wants and not tell her parents.
Never
that she's
know.
listening. Yeah.
But yeah, we were just told go outside. I mean, we're not gonna listen to it. You're not gonna complain this whole time. You're gonna go outside and you're gonna figure it out.
Outside?
I know,
It's hot out
shocking.
there.
It's
Yeah, you know how
hot.
hot it is
Summer.
out there,
You go
Mom?
under a tree. Do something. But yeah, they were very just go outside. We have a play set. You have bikes. You can go just go down the street and knock on someone's door. And that's
So, did your mom or dad feel a responsibility to keeping you busy?
Nope.
I'll take you to the movies today.
No,
We'll go to the
absolutely
climbing
not.
wall
Over.
tomorrow.
They had a 1 week rule. If you wanted to go somewhere where they had to drive you, you had to let them know a week in advance.
Oh, wow.
It was
That's
aggressive.
Very aggressive, yeah.
So you kind of had to like put your ticket in.
You had to think about it and really hope that it fall.
Not like in
went
our
through.
house at 9 a.m. Hey, can we go over and
Nope.
pick up so-and-so
They
at 10
weren't-
a.m. and have them spend the night?
They were not changing their schedules to fit our.
Can you say that again? Because that's
Yeah,
kind of
they
important.
weren't gonna fit our schedule. We were gonna go with their schedule.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's a novel thought. A parent not allowing the kid's schedule to dictate theirs.
Yeah.
yeah,
So Zach, how about you? What are some things that
Be careful, your dad's sitting close.
I'm really nervous about what Zach's going to say here.
Yeah, I mean, it was always either go outside or go in the basement.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys need some fresh air.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was like middle school or something, that I finally got that craved PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was very anticlimactic because it's like,
You're
all
never
right,
allowed
you
to
get
use it.
30 minutes of that once a week, and then you can go outside. It's like, what? So we still found ourselves in the woods a lot.
Yeah. We had an unfinished basement, which if
Those are
you're
the
out there
best.
listening with an unfinished basement, man, and it's hot or raining, send them downstairs. Have them figure it out. Don't entertain them.
You can rollerblade down there. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I do remember, Zach, because of boredom, going down in the basement, and I think I may have told you about it like a Rube Goldberg thing, and we started kind of looking, what is that? And the next thing you know, every other day I'm going down the basement, and you've got these engineering contraptions hanging from the ceiling and all of it's homemade stuff. And actually, a lot of it was just kind of fun.
Yeah.
And you even had some friends come over and help you.
Yeah, it was actually
kinda
like a good...
shake their head at you like, what are you doing, Hutch?
They say that necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
But I think a lot of times that necessity is just the necessity to fill time. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But the creative juices start flowing, really.
They do.
And kind of helping you either discover some of your gifts. Hey, I happen to be kind of good at this, or this is stupid. We're done with this,
Yeah.
you know. But it helps you learn a little bit more about yourself.
That's how I figured out I was good at painting.
Yeah.
Just being bored, not knowing what to do, and then finding
Yeah, so Katie, you love to
an
paint and
outlet.
draw. So how does boredom help you with that?
It kind of just makes you zone in on what you're wanting to express in the moment. I don't know. It blocks out. I personally just end up blocking out everything else and just zone in on this one thing. And it
but if you
helps me.
filled your day so much with the schedule,
I would have no.
and we're finding that, we're seeing that with young and old, that we're losing our creativity, we're losing the ability to dream, and to just really get creative, to draw and to write and to even pray. You know, we're just filling our time so much, we're not allowing ourselves to
just staring
be
at
bored.
a screen, and then the next moment you're like, oh, I've been on my phone for 45
Yeah,
minutes.
doing what?
Letting somebody or something else dictate my creativity or my thought. You know, Zach and I, we were talking about the other day. I used to think I'd always want a running partner and a cycling partner, and I've just come to find out that I really love to run and work out by myself, because there's certain levels of that are just muscle memory, like running. You know, once you know how to run, you know how to run, you know. And then a lot of people can't run because it's so boring. It's so, and I love the boredom, because that's when my brain starts getting creative. And I pray and I do a lot of different things, but most every design I've come up with in terms of houses or whatever came from long runs.
I love driving by myself, and I don't have any radio on. I am literally in silence, and you might say that's boring.
That's just weird.
That's just weird. That's because you're a music buff. But there are times when I just need to be bored. I need to let my brain rest.
Relaxes your brain.
Yeah, and the creativity does come. And the prayer is always important too.
So anyway, I mean, part of what we wanted you to kind of hear is the benefit of boredom when it comes to creating your kids or helping to form your kids into being more resourceful.
Yes.
And
We've lost that.
resourcefulness is a survival tool. Knowing how to get through a situation. Your brain is an amazing tool, basically. It's if something is always on the peak of your brain, it's what it will think on. But if you pose something to your brain like, well, what am I going to do? Or how do I solve this or whatever, your brain will start just like popping ideas.
Flowing in different ways.
And so having your kid with, and that doesn't mean just locking your kids in the basement.
Yeah.
It might be like, okay, wait, especially if they're young, go outside and maybe you prompt them. There's a swing set, there's a bike, go figure it out.
Build a fort.
Yeah, and just
Ooh,
prompting
forts.
them just to kind of help their brains start to go down that direction creates more resourcefulness.
Yeah, I know for our daughter, she loves to bake. And so it's cost me a lot in butter and sugar, but every time she gets bored, she pulls out a cookbook and she finds a recipe. Now, I've tried to help her to understand that she needs to make sure she has all the ingredients before she starts to make this stuff. But that's how she is kind of getting through. And also, she'll find something to make, a little craft or something. So it's parents, if you're listening out there, please do not save your children. Do not figure it out for them. The resourcefulness only comes if they themselves can get creative and create that entertainment for themselves in that boredom. If you always are saving them by bringing friends over or taking them to a trampoline park or, letting them on their screens all day, you have really lost the opportunity there to give them that resourcefulness tool.
But what if those brats keep complaining and screaming?
That's
and
where the outside
crying?
came from.
Really lock them
Right.
outside and they
And
can't
so-
get back in.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
part of what we do have to do is we have to put a boundary on it,
Yeah.
right? We have to say no. I mean, just like your parents
Give 'em a
said.
few ideas and then just say, I already gave you
need
some
to get away
options.
from me. Like,
Yeah.
Zach, I like what you said. I don't always remember what we said to you as a parent, but it was like, get outside or get in the basement. In other words, get out of
Get
our
away.
face.
Yeah. Or I always say, if you're that bored, I'll give you some work to do.
Yes.
Some more chores.
Chores.
And it's amazing how they'll find
and then
something
you'll
to do.
sprint somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in our house, I remember growing up, we literally were outside until our parents called us for dinner.
Yeah.
And then we were even coming in and eating and going back out. And nowadays, it's so easier for a kid to be on a screen. I went to the pool last year with the kids, and on the benches in the shade was teen after teen after teen, preteen, sitting on their phones at a pool.
Yeah.
And it's like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, Mom, Dad, why are you even letting them, and I'm sure they got dropped off. But, here we
Just
are, a
looking
beautiful
at it and
sunny
being like,
day,
wow.
and you're sitting in the shade on your
Wasting your
phone.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So active play is so good for so many reasons. Obviously, the exercise part of it, the coordination part of it. We see kids, with poor motor skills today because they're not out climbing trees and doing things like that. But the resourcefulness of how to solve a problem when you have minimal resources at hand. And, Zach, you probably, I always kind of wondered what was going on inside of you and Nick's head when I'd say, figure it out, figure it out, and like, you probably can't say what was going on in your head at the time, but.
Well, it was either figure it out or there was going to be another home project that we were going to be involved in.
Yeah.
Hauling rock or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Now, we're not talking about leaving your kids unsupervised, especially if they're,
Right.
Yeah,
no,
if
it's not-
they're
yeah.
age-appropriate supervision, safe boundaries. But sometimes you just got to allow them to go and explore, whether it be the creek at the bottom of the yard or, allowing them to go play in the puddles in the rain.
Oh, those were fun days.
Zach, you and your exploration of the potato cannon was an interesting season.
It worked. Parents, do not try this at home.
Yeah.
Definitely
It
make
might
sure
be
they're of
best
age.
under supervision.
Tell us about how the potato cannon came to life.
So a family member got a lot of property, and so we just many days out there just trying to how do you really entertain yourself on a bunch of empty property as a kid. So we made a trip to Lowe's and just bought some PVC pipe and some epoxy and some potatoes, and we just went out to the property and
little
built
older.
it.
So, you were a little bit older. You
Yeah.
weren't like 7 years
Yeah.
old. You
We
were.
finally had his license. So.
Yeah.
He had just gotten his license.
Yeah.
And so, at the risk of doing this, and Mom and Dad, listen please to this, at the risk of your kids being resourceful, mistakes, potential accidents are going to happen, right? They're going to happen. And so, like you said about, we're not talking about leaving kids unsupervised, but things are going to sometimes go wrong.
Sure.
They're going to go wrong. And that is part of the learning experience, right? I remember a time seeing you and your brother and cousin building a bike ramp into a pond. And so you would go flying down through this field and hit this bike ramp, and the bike ramp was way too steep.
Way too big.
Again, teenagers.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think there were a few bumps and bruises that came out of that, along with a trash
Even
bicycle.
when they were younger, when we would let them go outside and play, I remember looking outside, and our oldest is not hanging from the monkey bars. He is climbing on top of the monkey bars.
Yeah.
And he, that was how they just explored and how they learned. And, it's one of those things where I got to decide, am I willing to let him break an arm and let him explore, or am I going to pad him in duct tape and bubble wrap and keep him from really growing?
Yeah.
And I think I would rather do the first.
Yeah, absolutely. Hun, we have talked about this so many times. It's kind of a broken record on our shows, but it goes with a substantial amount of meaning. Screen time.
Yeah.
And so boredom, we want to really advocate for, especially in the summer, limit the screen time on your kids.
Yeah.
We use the screens as babysitters.
Yeah.
It helps us to make ourselves feel secure because at least we're not running around out in the street.
Right.
When in fact, probably running out and around the street, not in the street, but around the street, would probably be so much healthier.
Yeah, we've actually taken our kids' screens and we locked them up, and we've said no TV. So when they get up, if they get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, which
one of them does?
Oh, goodness gracious, that's a lot early in the summer. But to say no TV, so you got to figure it out, and we let it in the evening when we're winding down. But it's amazing how creative they got, because that's not an option right now.
Yeah.
The screens and the TV are not options, and so they've had to get creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's brought a really weird peace.
Well, and that's the thing. They fight it initially.
Right.
And so this is where you kind of, as a parent, you have to say that this is just the way it is.
Right. And start young, please. Start young.
Yeah.
'Cause it's hard when it's
if
old.
If you give in the one day that you're kind of tired, excuse me, you give in that one day, they're going to continue to knock on your door.
Sure.
Yeah. And so to say, no, guys, this is just the bottom line. There's not going to be any TV or phone or screen.
This is the new norm.
And our kids have quit fighting that.
Right. They don't even
And
ask.
you know what? Even our littlest one now, if he does get up early, he either goes back into the room, or at 7 o'clock, he might be out shooting hoops.
Yeah.
Which I'm totally fine with.
Right.
So there's value in knocking those screens down.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little homework, Hun, as we wrap up. Make a concerted effort to stop rescuing your kids from boredom this summer. Make sure that you're not scheduling them out. Look at your family schedule and allow days and windows of time for nothing. You guys have been in town, and there's been times when we're just hanging out.
Yep.
Playing cards.
Playing cards. Is
We
Yeah.
played
By
it.
the way, we need to play again tonight because
That
we
was
kind of
good.
got it handed to us last
I think the
night.
girls
didn't we?
kind of win.
We did
won.
win.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a problem with that right there. Revenge is sweet.
Yeah. But you don't need to go out of your way to make your kids bored. But you certainly do not have to rescue them.
Yeah.
know.
And so we ask you to look at your schedules, like you said, Hun, and actually make sure nothing's in a particular day or period or time. I mean, in other words, make sure that there is time for nothingness.
Don't make apologies either. We've got a lot of working parents, and it is hard because there's a lot of kids that are home alone, and some of them at very young ages. So you do have to give them some different options, some opportunities. You got to kind of give them ideas.
Spark
You know, like, hey, why don't you, make a craft? Why don't you go build a fort? Why don't you guys go get your bikes out? Why don't you take the sidewalk chalk outside? I mean, you might have to prompt some ideas, but don't do it all the time, and don't save them when they're bored.
Right, and understand that it might not always go well. I mean, seriously, it may not go well. They may not be particularly happy with it. That's not really the goal, to make them happy. The goal is that they become more resourceful.
Yeah.
So anyway, excuse me, we need to wrap things up. We want to thank you guys for joining
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Yeah.
And you have
Make
to be
it.
soon back to your workplaces so that your boredom is almost finished.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the boredom.
But we greatly appreciate
And they didn't even
being-
throw us under the bus.
No, they were actually pretty good. And, well,
You're welcome.
We'll pay you later.
Yeah.
good to have you guys in, and I know we're just proud as heck of you guys because you are resourceful. You're just doing things in a way that make us proud and happy, and so we thank you for that.
Yeah, yesterday Zach was willing to take the girls out for learning how to play golf.
Yeah,
We played 9 holes at Robinson. That
Only
was an
took a couple
experience.
hours.
better you than me.
We weren't counting the whiffs.
Thank
That was a combat of boredom.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to thank you for being here, you guys, but also we want to thank our sponsors for helping make Rock Solid Radio possible. Thank you to Maxwell Construction, Greendale Cinema, our sponsors, Mansfield Insurance Agency, and Erie Insurance. Without you, this show could not be possible. So thank you. Have a great night and make it a great week.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Rock Solid Radio. For help or more information about what you've heard this evening, contact us at rocksolidfamilies.org or call us at 812-576-ROCK. That's 812-576-ROCK. Again, a huge thanks to our sponsors, Maxwell Construction, Greendale Cinemas, Mansfield Insurance Agency, and Erie Insurance. If you have questions you'd like answered on air, or you want to chime in on something you've heard this evening, go to our Facebook page, Rock Solid Families. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to tune in next Sunday evening at 7:30 for another episode of Rock Solid Radio. I'm Linda Hutchinson, and for my husband Merrill and I, thanks for tuning in to your hometown radio, Eagle Country 99.3.